welcome everybody to the Coaches Momentum panel. So if you're a coach and you're feeling that things are a little bit inconsistent at the moment, you are in the right place. You've been doing the work, you're showing up, but the clients are just not coming consistently as you would like. They may have been, but now they've slowed up for whatever reason. So today is about changing that. We're going to talk to some amazing experts and we're going to be telling you about what is actually working and how we can change the inconsistency that you might be feeling. It's not about not more noise, it's not about more platform, and it's definitely not about more hustle. So what is actually working out there to create real momentum in coaching businesses? That's what we're going to be discussing today. So hi everybody, for those of you that I have not met, I am Cathy Smith from Cathy Smith Coaching, and love that we've got some waves there, fantastic. And I help coaches and small business owners to build profitable businesses through clear messaging, practical strategy, and consistent action, because we don't want to be just out there beating ourselves to a pulp and not enjoying what we're doing. Particularly as coaches, we need to have the right energy to be able to perform at our best. So today is about a couple of simple shifts. It's not about overwhelm and it's not about overthinking. Just real conversations, practical ideas and actions that you can maybe implement straight away. So as you're listening, think about one thing that you can implement. There's going to be lots of gold today, and try not to get overwhelmed. So just think about one thing that you can do maybe in your business right now. All right, so I'm going to welcome our amazing guests. So first of all, we have Alexis Johnson, and she is the business alchemist and marketing consultant, psychoanalyst and best-selling author who is the founder, a coach, an investor, and recognizes patterns and the act of better timing. So welcome, Alexis. Alexis,
Thank
sorry,
you.
I keep trying to
Thank you
put an
very
A
much.
on that.
Oh, everybody does it. But I have to correct you. I'm not a coach. I'm actually a consultant. I started in 1970. I grew up in a family business and I started helping other people build their businesses right around that time. And I've been doing it ever since.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Excellent. All right. And then we have Gillian, and Gillian is a profit strategist, a financial mentor, a founder of the JMV Financial Services, helping women entrepreneurs to turn financial chaos into clarity and build profitable businesses with confidence. So, welcome, Gillian.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome. And then we have Karen. Karen Kilgore is the publishing strategist and founder of Quantum Shift Media, helping authors, coaches, and speakers turn their books into powerful tools for visibility, impact, and business growth. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you. Absolutely a joy to be here.
You are very welcome. And landing our panel for today, we have Jennifer, who's a somatic teacher, healer, and leadership mentor who helps visionaries, change makers, and purpose-driven leaders unlock their potential, clear limiting beliefs, and step into the greater power and prosperity. Welcome, Jennifer. Who's got stuck on mute?
I'm muted. Thank you so much. And I see Bruce is here too now.
Ah, fantastic. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you for that. For some reason,
Let's
he's
not forget him.
on my screen. Let me find Bruce. And all right. Jan, can you pin Bruce? I'm not seeing him on my screen for some reason.
Um, he is already pinned.
Okay. All right,
Can you
Bruce,
see
for
me
some
now,
reason,
Kathy? How about now?
I
No?
can't. I don't know
Okay.
why. All right. Yeah, very odd. Okay. Let me introduce you to Bruce as well. So, Bruce Graham brings 35 years of detective experience, and an MSW in his work with men who want to become better partners and protect the well-being of their families. Well done, Bruce.
Happy to be here, Kathy, with
Now,
all of your other speakers too.
there we go. Aha, perfect. Thank you, Jennifer. I don't know what we were doing there, but anyway. So, welcome to our panelists.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
let's get
Beautiful.
underway. So I'm going to ask the same questions to each of you. So I will mix up the order, but as Bruce is the thorn between the roses, we might start with him as our first one. So Bruce, tell me about how business and momentum is looking for you right now.
Business is good. Momentum is picking up. What I'm doing is I'm having more and more one-on-one conversations with men, initially as market research, and then if they sound like what I'm offering is the complete man brotherhood, how to integrate leadership at work with leadership at home, then we begin to get into the conversation. So it's slower. I'm just not looking for a lot of people. I'm building a mastermind. So I'm happy with the progress. I'm enjoying the process.
Fantastic. All right, let's go to Gillian next. So, same question. Tell me about how business and what momentum looks for you right now.
Yep. So momentum for me right now is actually pretty good. And the reason it's pretty good is because of visibility. I'm intentionally putting myself in more rooms, speaking on more stages. And what I'm realizing is that the more I can share my message, the more women I can actually help and let them know that having a conversation around their finances actually can be normal and that they don't have to fear it or be ashamed of having it. So the more I speak about it, the easier it gets and makes them more comfortable. So
Fantastic. All right, over to you, Jennifer.
Yeah. So you're actually reading an old bio of mine. So I found that interesting. So that's cool because that's something I've been pivoting and going in a different momentum with is I have a chartered professional accounting designation. I worked with entrepreneurs for 20 years in public practice. But yes, I'm a spiritual teacher. I'm a shamanic practitioner. And that's the thing with coaching is like we have all of these skills. And so I've decided to lead more with the financial leadership guidance, not doing people's accounting so much, but guiding people to really pay attention to their financial situation. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's creating momentum for myself by myself putting really focused attention on the financial aspect of my business and having it current. Because when you're present in your body and in your energy and in your clarity, you want to have everything in your business be really present because then you can make really good decisions. And the other thing that's really been giving me a lot of momentum is I have 3 speaking gigs this week. This is one of them. And I had one, I have another one that's kind of an ongoing one all month. And I have 2 applications in the process. And so I'm really feeling like I took 3 years of speaker training and I've been speaking for a while now since then, but there is a lot of momentum coming that way. And I'm feeling really positive about it. And it gets you onto more stages. And then you end up in rooms with similar people as well. And go to Jennifer, like talk to Jennifer. So I think it's worth it to keep applying for speaking gigs. You actually have to apply. That's the thing. You have to apply.
Most definitely, because quite often people don't know you're there and they don't know you're interested. So
Yeah.
amazing. All right, let's go to Lexus.
I find that Of course, I'm a timing expert. So for all 50 some odd years, I've been dealing with when, not just what, not just how, but when is the right time to do anything. I agree with all the panelists so far. Visibility is incredibly important. My one website is dedicated to authority, visibility, and credibility. abcimp.com is what it's called. And it was basically put together to help people get on summit stages, but speaking in general is very, very important. But as much as it's important to be visible is to engage with people. And I write a newsletter on Substack, and on Substack, it's very, very important to engage with the people that you're, not just the people that subscribe to your newsletters, but everybody else that's listening and reading to all of everybody else's posts. If you write notes and they make a comment and you make a comment back, you get engagement going with them. And that's very, very important to build your credibility. It makes you a real person. So doing reels and clips and YouTube, or like I don't do a lot of YouTube now. I have done in the past. I'm starting up another podcast, and getting other guest speakers doing panels like this is very, very important. So definitely engagement with people.
Fantastic. And bringing us home on this question is Karen.
Yeah, I love this conversation and the theme. Momentum comes from clarity, conversations, and trust. And when you're having the conversation, that's when people know, like, and trust you. And all this is all we're all saying the same thing in a little different way. I love that. So momentum for me is like Jennifer said, I have so many speaking opportunities and attracting certain kinds of people. I wanted to say that you attract who you are, so when you know who you are, those kinds of people start finding you and they start drawn to you. So, and getting rid of imposter syndrome and some of the other things that limit you are so important. So momentum is from clarity, conversation, and trust. That's what I would say, and resonating with what everyone else has added. Yeah.
And I love that. And
Yeah.
especially with the imposter syndrome, because we're our own harshest critic. I
Yes.
had multiple
Yes.
conversations this week, and
Yeah.
it's interesting with coaching that the conversations keep coming up. So if you're
Yeah.
talking about something at the beginning of the week, you'll probably find you end up with two or three different variations of it. But what
Yeah.
we think is our foibles, other people don't even see. They don't notice that you've wearing glasses when you didn't used to, that you're a bit self-conscious about, is my lighting correct, and all of these sort of things. People don't see that, only you see that. So get out there and tell your truth. So I love that you bring that up, Karen. So let's stick with you, Karen, and let's go back for what is the one strategy that is working for you right now to create consistent client conversations?
Um, give, and give the best you got. And really I mean, people come to me all the time and I help point them in the right direction. Even if they choose not to work with me, that's one of the biggest things. I want to add value. And a lot of people don't know where to start. They feel overwhelmed. And I help people write, publish, and market books. So it's kind of a complicated, many moving parts kind of business. And they don't have a clear sales strategy. And so I really, helping them in really serving them, I really get in touch with who they are and what their message is, and really trying to help add value to them, even on a 15-minute call. And that's been one of the biggest strategies, because they remember you, they know you're interested. And even if they're not ready to work with you right now, they remember you, or they, refer you to someone. Oh, call Karen. Like Jennifer said, there's Jennifer, I remember. And so that again comes back to knowing, and conversations. Really have a real conversation with somebody, not a sales call, a real conversation.
Fantastic. And that is something that you need to be clear on too. If it is a sales call,
Yes.
make sure everybody knows that
Yeah.
it's a sales call.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
put it as a free coaching call and then morph
Yeah.
it into a sales
And
call.
then sales. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Good.
All right, Jennifer, what is the one strategy that's working for you right now to create consistent client conversations?
Well, I really like what Karen was saying about giving value and giving. And I think for yourself, though, like you're giving value, but to get the client, the connection calls on your calendar, you have to follow through. And
Yes.
there's always this little bit of fear around following through. Like you're at a networking event and people have put their links in there. And I find like spaces like this, actually summits and speaking spaces are a great place to network because you get to know more about the person without having like the networking dynamic go on. And I was at a meet and greet last week for a speaking gig, and I just felt this pull to one woman, and then she messaged me. Just like you said, you attract who you are. And then we didn't, collaboration is basically why we were connecting, and we had a great conversation. I have to say, I have to go have another call, like it's, you get into like you remember people like that you've never met. You really meet interesting people. And if you go with an open, just stay open when you're following through to get the person, to connect with somebody. And I just before this, somebody connected with me. I was in BNI a couple of years ago, and I was doing a little meditation before our meeting you guys here. And he called me and I answered right away. And he was inviting me to a networking event. And it was interesting, it's just like staying in the presence and being clarity creates a lot of energy for you to follow through too.
Fantastic. All right, Lexus.
Hi, I'd like to circle back to what Karen had to say. I find that in all the years that I've been helping people online, the biggest problem is that when people have a call with you, they think automatically you're trying to sell them something. And when you make them feel comfortable and let them know that it's not about making the sale, it's about giving them what they need. And frankly, selling somebody anything is giving them something they already want. It's not about manipulation or trying to convince somebody. Convincing is the worst way to try to make a sale. If you really engage with them and find out what they need, everybody's got a specialty. I've got a specialty. My specialty is timing windows, telling people when to act. And it's based on cycles and patterns. However, a lot of the time people contact me and that's not what their problem happens to be. It's some other little thing. And when you find out what that is and you give them the answer to that, they love you forever.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly.
I agree with Karen.
Fantastic. And Jillian.
Yes, I'm going to piggyback off of both of you ladies in that regards, because that's what I was going to say. I lead with education. Because they just want to know. So if you have a conversation, if they feel seen, they feel understood, they feel like they're not alone and they're not the only one, they're more openly to have a conversation with you. And then that will help you to get to the real root of the problem and what they're trying to fix. And so just show up for them, because I've had people approach me at networking groups and one lady started crying just because she started telling me everything. And I don't know why people feel the need to just tell me everything. And I sit there and I listen, but I like to have that approach. You got to be comfortable to approach me, especially when it comes to your money. So they just need to be seen and understood. That's all they want.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, particularly in the financial space, because we
Mhm.
start worrying about, are we doing it right? Is our
Yes.
situation unique? How did we do this? Nobody else is
Yep.
in this position,
Yes,
etc., etc.
exactly. Yes.
Well done. All right, Bruce, your go.
Right. Mine is that market research effort. I found out that 66% of gray-haired divorces, that's people over the age of 45, are initiated by the wife. And oftentimes the husband is blindsided. He thought we're doing fine. And if we have a disagreement and she goes quiet, I lived this in my first marriage. It's like, okay, everything's fine. She sees the logic that I've been offering, and it's no, she's just given up. She doesn't want to argue anymore. And so these women have had 20, 30 years of suppressing themselves. And now there comes a point in time, they've made their own money. They don't need to be there for the children anymore. And so as I'm doing my market research, people, again, like the other people said, people are sharing with me. I remember years ago, I did a comic book with inner city kids, and I was so happy with the result. I went around, my clientele tended to be attorneys. So I would show them what I was doing because, I never thought of myself as an artist. I remember one guy, very high, level guy, he says, come here. And he closed the door. He says, when I have my kids, when they have friends sleep over, we create stories. And sometimes we draw pictures. He says, but you can't tell anybody. I said, why not? He says, billable hours, Bruce. We're based on billable hours. And I was like, geez, you're doing something really remarkable. So people do open up when they know you're listening. So, and that was my experience with witnesses too. A lot of times they would say, I don't remember it. And an hour later, they're saying, did I say all that? I said, is there anything there that I, made up? Is it, and they're like, I didn't think I remembered anything. But when you listen, they remember everything.
Yeah. Our brains know so much more than we give it credit for. And sometimes we just need to tease that out. And it's the same with coaching. Quite often the client actually knows what it is that they need. They just don't know how to access it. So love that, Bruce.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, Gillian, as everybody stole your thunder of the last question, let's make you go first so that you can grab that. What is the common mistake that you see that coaches are making that slows down their momentum?
All of their focus goes on getting more clients versus paying attention to the financial side of things. And I say that because what they'll do is they'll say, well, how do I market myself? But they don't know their numbers. So what are you targeting? What are you shooting at? What are you aiming for? And so they're focusing on, let me get myself out there, but they don't focus on the energy and money and money loves energy. So if you focus on that piece of it, then guess what? What you focus on expands. Especially money likes clarity, not chaos.
Love
Yes.
that. Absolutely. All right, Bruce, what's the common mistakes that you're seeing that slows down momentum?
I think, again, you're right. It's that you're looking for, how can I make this person a client, and really, whenever I'm stuck, I just ask somebody, what's the biggest challenge that you have right now? And then I just sit and listen. Very much like the market research, but people love when they know you're listening, you know. And again, that was my job as an investigator, was to create rapport and have them feel like they are the greatest thing that I've been, encountering this day, this week, this month. I want to hear their story. And when you do that, you hear so many things that weren't going to come out if you were only going for the client.
Amazing. All right. Let's go with Jennifer.
I'm going to come up with a horse racing analogy because I was born into a horse racing family. And if the horse leaves the gate and sprints out of there, he's not going to finish. He'll be dead last. He'll be first for 3/4 of the race, but he'll be dead last. And I think many coaches, including myself, have done this, is we have a strategy, we sprint with it, and then we feel like it's not working, so we give up. We give up and we don't finish what we started, so we switch to another strategy. And we do the same thing again, get really excited about something, go for it, and then we burn ourselves out and we give up before we really get it. And so one of my things that I really discipline to practice, discipline to practice. And so when you pick something, stay with it. And even if you don't think it's working, it is working. It is working. It's just you might not be getting the right feedback, or you might be not looking at your numbers. And that's why I say as well, like you want to be paying attention to your numbers, and you want to learn how to navigate your business like a container, like it's a vehicle, like it is your racehorse and you're the driver and the trainer. And you are, conditioning yourselves to maintain. You want to be maintaining yourself every day. You don't want to be rushing and burning out and rushing and slowing down and all that kind of stuff, because entrepreneurship is like it goes into your whole life. It's your whole life. Your relationship is in it, everything. And you want to be being more lately, I think, than doing.
Absolutely. They say that we are human beings, not human doing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that sums it up very well. And you see that a lot in marketing is people start running with one strategy and it may be working, but they don't continue. They, for whatever reason, decide there's a new shiny object and they're going to run that next sprint. And yeah, unfortunately, we end up with a whole stack of unfinished things that never end up getting there. Whereas if you say you continue on, then generally that will get the result that you need. So that is amazing. Love that. All right, let's go to Lexus.
Well, I'm going to change the track a little bit. I agree with all my colleagues. However, with my experience, what I've noticed, I've spent a lot of time teaching people about marketing. And what I've noticed coaches doing that's stopping their momentum is that they think that they need to help everybody. Oh, what I do for people, everybody needs what I've got, right? Well, the problem is, I'll give you an example. If a woman comes to you and she's complaining about her husband not helping her with the kids, and she comes home from work and he comes home from work and he's laying on the couch, click, 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 watching football, and she needs help with the kids, that's a whole different problem if her kids are teenagers or if they're babies, right? The woman with the teenagers is worrying about, are they going to get pregnant? Why are they staying out so late? Do they have the car? They're going to get into an accident. That's what they're concerned about. If the woman has little babies and the kids are keeping them up at night, then the wife has a whole different problem. She's more concerned about, I'm not getting enough sleep. Why are you laying on the couch? I need help. The dishes aren't done. This needs doing. Two different problems. If you're marketing to those two women at the same time, you have a problem because they're not going to hear you unless you use the exact words that they're using to complain about their problem. Two completely different marketing problems. If you want to market to both of them, you need two completely different marketing campaigns. So that's where momentum gets stopped, is when people, coaches, consider that they need to help everybody instead of choosing the one and having a complete marketing campaign for that one. Then if they want to build onto that with a second marketing campaign, they need a completely different marketing campaign for the second person that's their avatar.
Yes, absolutely. And when we speak to everybody, we speak to nobody. It just becomes so
Exactly.
vanilla that nobody goes, "Oh, you get me." They're all going, "Oh, yeah, that's a bit interesting." Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And it just becomes, yeah, very vanilla.
You have to use the exact words that the person you're trying to reach uses to describe their problem. And when you use their words and say it back to them, they know that you get them, that you understand their problem completely. And then they tune in and go, maybe she's got the answer. And that's when they call, hey, let's call Lexi.
Yeah. And maybe you're in my head. Maybe you heard the 5 conversations that I've had in the last hour. And as Bruce says, maybe you were just listening. So that's very
Exactly.
important. Karen, what do you see?
Oh, and Lexi, that was very good. And mine is very similar. I feel like a lot of times that you're too close to your own brilliance and you're not communicating what you do properly. You're focusing on the process or the modality or the framework, and you're not, and then the audience really doesn't know, how is this going to help me and how can you solve my problem? And so really that's another issue of clarity and a marketing campaign directly to the problem, and the problems are not the same even though they're both women. And so clarity in that, and really, knowing what you stand for and who you serve, and then getting out of your own brilliance and simplifying it so that anybody could understand it and know what the problem is being, what solution you have.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when we fill it with jargon that our
Yeah.
clients aren't
Yes.
into, that once again, it just becomes a
Yeah.
language that they can't understand. So you might as well be doing it in something
Yeah.
that other than their native language. So absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
they don't care about your credentials. They want to know, can you solve the problem? So
Mhm.
you can eliminate all that. They just want their problem solved. And that what a gift and an honor that we get to do that. I mean, really, it's beautiful.
yeah. And I mean, in this day and age, that the entry level is so low now, but the success
Yes.
level is also
Yes.
low. So
Yes.
it's a case of
Yes.
making sure that we are using the skills we have and speaking to the people that we can help.
Yes.
Fantastic. Love the way these conversations are going. Okay, let's really mix it up again. I don't think we've had Jennifer first, so let's go with Jennifer. And the question is, if someone feels stuck or inconsistent, what is the one simple action that they could do this week to move them forward?
Tell somebody. Don't hold it in. Like there's one of us on this call, if you're listening and you're feeling stuck, that you can talk to, because we're here to listen and we're here to give you value. And we engaging with you and creating a connection is my only motivation. Like I love to serve. I love to serve. And like Jillian said earlier, is like people just tell me stuff because I feel safe. I feel safe. And that's what I like to do, is create a safe space so that you will go deep. Because if you don't go deep, I can't help you. I don't know how, I don't know how to help the surface level problems. I only know how to help the deep ones, because that's where all my problems I've always been in are deep. And that's how come I've learned how to help people, is by experience. And having a conversation like helps you to release that problem. Even like telling your husband something that you've never told him for 10 years. That's what I did recently. I told somebody something I'd never told anybody, and I got so much power back from that, because I was carrying all this hidden pressure myself. And so whatever it is that your problem, talk to somebody. And
Yes,
that's the first step.
absolutely. And it sounds different when it comes out of your mouth rather than rattling around in your head. So, yeah,
Yes.
definitely
Mhm.
get it out into the world. Fantastic. All right, Karen.
I would just very similar to Jennifer, have a conversation with somebody, and and when you're vulnerable, they're vulnerable, and the energetic thing that's created between you is really healthy and healing. And so, sometimes you have to get over again, the imposter syndrome. Who am I? And just ask for help. Put your hand up and say, I need help. And it's really not that complicated, but it does take bravery.
Mhm.
You do have to have courage to do that. And so yeah, and it could be even a post. I've seen some people who've posted and said, please pray. And that person is in, something really is going on, and I energetically connect to them, and I'm sending them healing energy and peace and clarity and what they need. So even just that, it can be just a simple thing. But yes, have a conversation.
Fantastic. Lexi.
I agree with both my comrades. Conversation is very, very important. However, let's bring a different tip in. If you're stuck, you do not want to bring your problems to your clients. So stop what you're doing and make a change. Go for a walk, take a bath, have whatever it is, your smoothie or whatever it is that you do, chocolate bar. I mean, I don't agree to have sugar or anything, but whatever it is that you do that's your escape, go do it. Give yourself 20 minutes of me time. God knows we don't
Mhm.
have enough time for ourselves. So take a break, change the scenery, change your state, get one step higher. If you're upset about something, get less upset about it, get angry about it, or have create a revenge in your mind about it, but don't act on it. Just do something that's completely different and have a laugh. I mean, it can't be all that bad. You're still here. So what's the next best thing you could do?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes just making that physical break, like you say, get up and go for a walk, can
Yep.
really change where you're at.
Walks, meditation, yoga, whatever will calm your mind. Walks do it for me.
Perfect.
But then I have a dog, so.
Hey, Bruce, bringing us home on this question.
I hadn't thought about this, but while this was going, I agree with everybody about call somebody, just get out of being yourself. One of the things that I actually tried this week and it worked phenomenally, I was going through a bit of imposter syndrome, and I have created a custom chat GPT. And for years, I've written poetry and I've made comic books with kids and stuff like that. So I put a question to my chat, who I call Merlin. And Merlin just, if you've done any work with AI, it's very endorsing, it's your best buddy. And I got such good coaching and reminding me of things that I accomplished and things like that. And I was, oh, wow. And if you work with a coach, a lot of times the coaches make you feel better and bigger than you are. So, but work with your chat. My girlfriend, she felt like she couldn't talk with her chat and she wanted me to talk with her chat. I said, did you have a teacher that you really liked? She said, my third grade teacher. And I said, what was that person's name? Beatrice. Why did you like Beatrice? She was very patient with me. I said, okay, we're going to make your chat GPT Beatrice, and you're going to tell her why you like her so much. And the thing with talking to her in a woman's voice, yes, Cecilia, you could be as fumbling. I'm going to be patient and I'll guide you and stuff like that. It was like, wow, to help somebody really gain access to a tool that could help them. So if anybody can work with their chat like that, it's almost like having your own therapist.
Absolutely. And yes, we all have named our chats, and
Yeah.
Buddy and I have amazing conversations. And sometimes it's just literally about verbalizing it and getting it out of your head so that you're
Yes.
hearing it with your ears. So, yeah, definitely love that. All right. So, we're going to do a lightning fast round on our last question. So, what do you see changing in the coaching space over the next 12 months to attract clients? So, we'll start with Lexus.
AI.
Oh,
Artificial
that was quick.
intelligence is the very biggest change, and it's going to be coming, and it's going to be coming for the next 12 to 18 months. And if you aren't on board, you might as well close up shop right now, because it's here to stay. It's the next biggest wave, just like when social media took over, when websites took over and the internet came in. And I mean, people were so afraid of Y2K and what was going to happen. I'm pretty sure robots are not going to take over the world. We
Not
might
anytime
become
soon.
cyborg. Science might invent ways for us to be cyborgs. That might be something to be afraid of. But I don't know. I think I'd like to have a robot around the house cleaning up for me. So
Fantastic.
incorporate AI into your business for sure.
Lovely. All right, Karen.
Yeah, I think trust. Um, People work with people they trust. And when you have big promises and everything looks polished and shiny, people wonder if they can even relate to you. I think the having substance, knowing who you are, I think probably the biggest thing is trusting yourself and knowing who you are as a person, because everything comes out of that. And when you don't know who you are, it all looks cloudy and chaotic. And so really knowing who you are as a person, as a business owner, as a beautiful human being, not a doer, that's probably the biggest, the identity.
Excellent. Jennifer.
I love that identity piece. And I love, yeah, AI, guess what? It's going to give you more time to and be working on your business. And so I'm actually in the process. It'll be ready April 2027, building a dream home, but also private, intimate retreat space so that I can be more in person with people. And I am actively seeking in-person networking, in-person speaking gigs, because I really want to be in connection with the people too. I love online. I'm not going to stop, but I want more in person myself. And I feel that other people do too.
Fantastic. Jillian.
That's a good question. I think for me, it's building genuine relationships. And one of the biggest things also too is simple. Everybody wants to overcomplicate things, and then people get overwhelmed, so then they do what? Nothing. So they're looking for simple. That's all you need. And you being a genuine, authentic person, and like Karen said, trust. So,
Yeah, I love that. And Marie Forleo said a very long time ago, you might as well be you because everybody else is already taken. And if you try to be them, you're just going to be a bad imitation. So be
yep.
authentic to you. Love that. All right, Bruce.
I agree with everybody. And to have that happen, my focus is on creating 6 to 12 member masterminds and going from there. It's the know, like, and trust factor. So sometimes I'll be giving the wisdom and sometimes somebody else will be giving the wisdom. But that's really what I love to participate in. And I think other guys, especially, I mean, women probably too, but guys don't trust it that easily. And once you have that, it's like can last for years.
Fantastic. So thank you very much to our panelists. So they've shared a lot today. So the things that have come through a lot is making sure you're adding value, is trust is very important, being authentically you and being visible because it's no point having the best coaching business in the world if nobody can find you. And as we do work worldwide, it's amazing where those connections, and as we were speaking before we turned the cameras on, about how it is used to be 6 degrees of separation, but now it's getting down to about 3. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. So making sure you're getting out there and telling people what you need to do, how you need to do it, and how you can help them. What is their problem? So just think about one thing that you could do today, one shift, one action, and one commitment that you could make to maybe change somebody else's life as well as your life. So, Gian, can you put the slides up, please? So we've been talking a lot about momentum, consistency, and what is working. And many coaches find this to be a challenge. So if you're ready for the next step, next Wednesday or Tuesday, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, I'm doing a webinar on the 3 keys to getting clients so that you can get your clear messaging, so that you can convert them into warm prospects and you can build simple, as we've been talking about today. We like to overcomplicate things. So making a simple weekly system that actually works for you without hustle. So knowing what it is that you need to focus on. So how coaches can build their coaching skills into thriving businesses without having to cold DM, without having to have huge audiences, and without having to feel like everything is ready and perfect right now. Because as we've spoken about, you need to be authentically you. The way you do it is going to be different to the way somebody else does it. And even if you've come through a particular coaching school, you still bring your life experiences, you bring the way you do it. So don't try to hide that because that's what people are going to connect to. So they're going to connect to you as a person, and particularly in the coaching area, because it is so personal. As we've mentioned about feeling listened to, feeling being that safe space where we can talk about what is going on and making sure that we're not letting those problems fester way bigger than what they should have. And as mentioned, 10 years is a long time to hold something. So let's not make that happen for everybody and let's make it so that we do have that space. So if you're ready for the next step and you would like to know a little bit more, then if you would like to be on the webinar next week, so it is Tuesday the 23rd in the Northern Hemisphere and Wednesday the 24th in the Southern Hemisphere. And if you click on cathysmith.com.au/webinar, that will get you to where you need. So the 3 things you're going to learn is the rule of one, the message that is right for your clients so that they can't ignore it. The second thing is the client conversion code to sign clients that are already in your world. Because as we've mentioned, a lot of people are out there, they know you. You just may not be tapping into them right now. And the third thing is a consistent client flow system to make that simple weekly routine that compounds. So this is going to be a practical session where I work you through what is getting in your way, what to focus on instead, and how to get more consistent clients so that you can stop guessing and you can build momentum. If this is for you, register. All right, so our amazing guests, I've got guests and gifts. Guests have been very open and have allowed you to have some free gifts. So this is my free gift to you. So this is the first one that we will give to you, which is that it's a 10-minute inbox reviver. So your inbox is not dead. It's just gone quiet because you're not actually talking to the right people. So if you go to the gifts page, and Gian has just dropped that in the chat for us. So it's cathysmith.com.au/gifts. You will find gift, sorry, no S, gift. You will find this one and all our gifts from our amazing panelists as well. So Gian, if you can drop the slides now, please. Okay, so I'm going to go round once more, and if we can have the key takeaways from the panelists. So let's start with Jennifer.
Well, Karen reminded me, like, identity. I really love that. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. But while you're learning from your coaches and while you're learning everybody else's systems and methods, it can get a little confusing and you forget to be yourself and what you really like to do and what you really like to, how you want to market, how you want to get your message out. So being yourself is key.
Love that. All right, Jillian.
So for me, it's small actions create momentum. And so it's just not taking everything on at once. Pick something simple and execute, and that will help you to get unstuck.
Fantastic. Bruce.
Mine's consistent with Jennifer's, that people want to know who you are. I want to know who you are. So it's like be authentic and realize that we all have warts and we all have our insecurities, and just be somebody who like, and trust, and allow people to know, like, and trust the authentic you.
Yes, I think that's very important. It's no point putting on a mask, because how often do you see someone on social and then you meet them in person, whether it be online or whether it be actual face to face, and you go, oh, is that the same person? You don't look anything like that. So making sure that your socials are up to date with what you currently look like so that you don't have that immediate shock factor before you've even opened your mouth. So yeah, authentic is definitely the case. All right, Alexis.
Bruce mentioned earlier about telling stories. And when I was talking to you, I mentioned a story about a lady with kids and trying to get her husband off the couch to help her. And if you engage stories and relate your stories as analogies to what your customer's going through, that's going to be key to helping you get the clients to know, like, and trust you and buy from you. Because if they don't buy from you, you're not really helping them much, are you? Stories.
Love that. And that's something that coaches sometimes get a bit tripped up on as well, is they forget to ask for the sale. And if we're not actually asking for the sale and making that offer, then we don't have a business at all. And therefore, we can't survive, we can't feed our families, we can't create the impact that we'd like in the world. So let's all get paid really well, and then you can use your money however you choose, and that might be giving back as well. So definitely love that. And stories is what we remember. It's something that has been happening for a long time, even before written word, and it's the way we pass our knowledge. So remembering to engage in stories is very important. And Karen.
I would say conversations, listen, and it comes back to Lexi again, the stories. Listen to somebody's story and really engage them and know what they're saying. Don't just look at them, see through them, and really identify energetically, emotionally, and give. Help point them, at least point them in the right direction, and be generous.
Absolutely. And a nice comment or a smile, even when you're walking down the street, costs you nothing, but it might just create that little one shift in that person that makes such a difference for their lives and their days. So making sure that, yeah, you are authentic, you're visible, and you're generous. Okay, so we've had a lot of takeaways here today. So if you would like to just think about one thing that you can action on that will help you to get out of the overwhelm, because we're definitely not into hustle. We're definitely into being authentic, but remembering to be visible as well. So put it in your diary, because if it's not in your diary on your calendar, it's not going to happen. So think of the one thing that you can do today that will change your world and your client's world. And that's how momentum happens. So if you're interested in any of the gifts that the amazing panelists have put out, so go to cathysmith.com.au/gift and you can check out and connect with all our panelists there. Also, we have the workshop next week, which is cathysmith.com.au/webinar. And panelists, is there anything that we should have said that hasn't been said?
I do. I have something, and that was on the question you had about being stuck. It's like, yeah, because people get stuck all the time. It happens. And I work with authors and the imposter syndrome and who's going to read it and why should I bother writing it? And I mean, my gosh, it goes on and on. And so I want to say that a truth and a lie can't live in the same place at the same time. And when you believe a lie, a part of you separates and it's stored in your subconscious and it keeps sending programming. I'm an imposter. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. Nobody loves me. I'm abandoned, whatever it is. And that can be resolved. That can be resolved, but the logical mind can't do it. So I just wanted to say there is solutions to being stuck. There really are.
Yes, there it is.
So,
And
yes,
that thought of there is a solution is definitely
yes,
the first step. Being aware
yes. There is a
and
solution.
yeah, and having a coach to help you is an amazing way to do that. So I would like everybody to give a big round of applause to our panelists and to thank them all for giving us their time and wisdom, and open it up to our participants if there are any questions. No, so we must have all done a good job. Our polls come up.
One of your participants said she'd like to connect with everybody on LinkedIn. So if you could save the chat and get her LinkedIn information, she wants to connect with all the expert coaches.
All right, excellent. We will do that. Okay, Paul, did you have a question?
Yeah. So I've started my business for a couple years now, and like all businesses, there's been ups and downs, but overall, I've had a lot of fortune and blessings and stuff like that. But the next thing I'm tackling, I'm I'm a technical service, and I've been serving my clients, making them really happy. But the next thing I'm tackling is finding that balance of making the time for self-promotion as well. And I was wondering if any of the panelists have any advice on that.
Get on
Oh, what kind
Substack,
of
write a
training?
newsletter. There's so many technical people on there that need your help. They don't know what they're doing. Get on Substack and write notes. You can write a newsletter too, but write notes. You can just drop a couple of sentences every single day and just invite people to join you and say, hey, ask me questions. I'll help you. Just tell them like
Okay.
the simplest little things.
And quite often, what you think is too simple that your people won't want to know, that's exactly what they need help with, because remember, you're a long way further along than what they are. So they're at their chapter 1, you're at your chapter 20. So remember what it was like at the beginning and give that advice.
Okay.
And Paul, as a techie, use your chat, use your Claude, use something, but use your AI and tell it, what your hesitation is, and it will give you wonderful ideas. Say, give me 3 or 4 or 5 ideas I can implement this week.
One
How's
one
that sound?
time, yeah, that's good. One time the realization came on me, if nobody can find me, I can't help anybody. And I was kind of fine staying in the background, but if nobody can find me, I can't help them. And so, Paul, I would just encourage you to dedicate some time to you, like an hour a day or whatever it is, and promote yourself. I know you're giving your heart and soul and best to everybody else, but they need to find you too. So spend 2 hours a week, whatever it is, 15 minutes, whatever your heart tells you, and literally just promote you.
I would
Absolutely.
also like to add, because Paul's in a speaking summit with me right now, and you're doing fantastic and you're amazing and you're showing up so well. So I would say just keep going to getting speaking gigs, because it's like a easy way for you to go forward fast and get
Thank
visible.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. We're just
If
about
there's
to
yeah.
close, but Louis has a question, so we'll throw it over to you, Louis, if you can make it quick.
Really appreciated all of your insights. Incredible stuff. So my question is just with regards to AI. We're all talking about AI. I've got whole teams just creating AI stuff, but it's more about what do we actually need from AI? Because I think that at the moment we're all working as separate humans, and we're all going, oh, I'm going to design this, and I'm going to get this to work, and I'm going to design this, and we're using AI to do it. And AI is, as a collective, just taking all of our information and going, I'm getting so much smarter than you guys so fast because you're all super divided. Okay, how do we join together and go, okay, what do we actually need AI to do for us as coaches, as collective coaches? What do we actually want from it? Okay, and then we can build those things and get them out to each other. I really think we need to share stuff. You look at, colonization. They just came into a country, and the country had millions of people. One boat arrived and they took over the whole country because they were all divided. We exactly the same. How do we work together to do that? I'd love to know any insights that you have on that.
I think
Start your own group,
speaking
Lois.
anyway.
Start your own group, Lois. Create a group, invite people to join. Get on LinkedIn and invite, get on Facebook, invite, go on Substack. You get a lot of people on Substack, and just say, hey, Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, here's my Zoom link. Join me and let's talk about AI and see what the world needs and see how we can collaborate. They would love it.
The
Outcome.
problem is that I've got groups like that, but I get techie people. I don't get coaches. I don't get the actual people that need the
Well,
AI.
then tell
I
them
get the
it's for
people.
coaches.
Yeah.
Tell them it's for coaches, because like I would totally show up just because of what you just said. So say what you just said. Just say exactly what you just said, that it's for coaches, consultants, and founders.
Lewis, I was on an AI marketing person, a client is mine as well. She did just a webinar and gave us like all of these tools that we should be using. And so she did exactly what you are thinking about doing, I think, like what you're asking. So I just connected with you on LinkedIn. I can share her connection as well, or get you into her next thing, because we need more people like that. Just use this. You can create reels with this. You can create your slideshow with this. And I didn't know anything about it before she told me about it. So all of a sudden I've saved like 10 hours, So I
But there's a
think,
whole new level coming.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. But
There's
I think she's a cool connection for you.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
I think that's really important, is to be having these conversations and be putting it out there of exactly what we want. And once again, ask AI. that they'll probably have a whole stack of different ideas for you as well. But speaking is an amazing way, and getting in groups with other people as well as starting your own. So I love the way this conversation's going. But to honour our time, it is time to end this conversation. So thank you to everybody that came live. Thank you to those that watch on the replay, and please do connect with the amazing panelists and myself if you haven't. So we look forward to seeing you again next week if you come to the webinar, and if not, to see you very soon out there in the world, being authentic, being visible, and being you. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Cathy.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Cathy.
Kathy.
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
all.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everyone.